So before I kick off this video, I do want to let you guys know, since I am recording in the heart of San Francisco, not even 3 blocks away from downtown, I want to let you know that I am fine. Everyone around here is doing fine. We're all doing our best to maintain social distancing. I, of course, have been well accustomed to the idea of self-quarantining. The city here has been on lockdown for 7 days, and as you can tell, I am perfectly suited for that, as I have not shaved or cut my hair in the last 6 months. So I just wanted to let you all know that I'm okay. I wanted to make sure that you are all okay, you're staying clean and hygienic, and you're maintaining social distancing, and yeah, enjoy the video. When I started this YouTube channel back in 2008, video production for YouTube videos was very different than it is today. Not only because of the kinds of equipment that people would have access to, but also because YouTube itself couldn't handle HD videos as it can today. Back then, cameras such as the Flip Minnow HD began to change this, but what took YouTube to revolutionary new highs was when DSLR cameras gained the ability to shoot video, and the quality of videos uploaded to YouTube began to increase exponentially. At the tail end of 2011, my channel was changed forever when I finally got a DSLR for myself, the Canon Rebel T3i, specifically this Canon Rebel T3i. And even though I have since upgraded to the Panasonic GH5, which is what I'm using right now, the Canon Rebel T3i still stands as one of the most amazing cameras I have ever used. And even though over 9 years have passed since its release, it's still a great camera for those interested in getting into photography and video production. I'm Connor Mitchell, and you're watching Dragon Rider Network's look at the Canon Rebel T3i 9 years later. Let's get into it. The first point for this being a great choice as your first DSLR is it's a great way to get a hold of the basics. So maybe you're new to DSLR cameras. The Canon Rebel T3i is a great beginner camera since, relative to other DSLRs on the market, it's quite stripped down in terms of features. There's no Wi-Fi, no touchscreen, no special add-ons to install for videos. It gives you a chance to learn the basics of DSLR cameras. Dealing with the hardware of a DSLR was the biggest shock to me when I first got the Rebel. Physically zooming and focusing for photos and videos, and having way more settings and knobs than the previous point-and-shoot I was using. What is quite helpful is that there are individual modes for dealing with aperture, shutter speed, and even a smart auto feature that takes care of everything you want when it comes to taking photos. For video, you also have very basic functions and quality control. You can even set different frame rates for video, including 60 frames per second at 720p. For over 7 years on this channel, I was able to learn more and more about DSLRs from this T3i, and what that ultimately did was allow me to find ways to make the quality of my videos even better. And that leads me to my next point. One of the things I've learned over the last 7 years of having the T3i is that there are many filmmaking tricks you can use to make this super cheap and old camera shoot film that looks incredibly professional. When I got this camera, 1080p video was still the standard that YouTubers were aiming for, and that's because it was some of the best quality you could record at the time. But even with 4K coming into the picture, I was still able to learn how to get amazing quality out of this camera, whether it came from finding new lenses to attach to the camera, finding ways to get better lighting, or framing and panning shots in a more creative manner. Tricks like these can be done with any camera, but the Canon Rebel T3i makes it easier to work with these changes due to the manual controls. Learning these controls allows you to go from footage that looks no different than any other camera you could pick up to getting Hollywood quality photos and video. Not every amazing photo or video you see was taken with a camera with the price tag of a small car. And that leads me to my final point. The biggest factor that makes this camera perfect for beginners is the price. Back when I first got it, this camera was relatively inexpensive compared to the other professional DSLRs, coming in at around $800 for the body and the kit lens. Getting a camera like this back in the day for under $1,000 was pretty incredible. But now if you go to eBay and search for a Canon Rebel T3i, you can find pre-owned versions of this camera, in great condition mind you, for prices ranging from $200 to $250. This also allows you the savings to get an additional lens for the camera as well. Prime lenses such as the 50mm f1.8 lens are another great tool for beginners, as they offer an incredibly high boost of quality without breaking the bank. It's also how you get that blurry background in your photos and video that makes shots look even more professional. The Canon Rebel T3i, in my professional opinion, definitely holds up as a great option for someone who doesn't have the cash to get the latest DSLR in the market. Yet it still provides a great and cheap and easy way to find your way into photo and video production by using a DSLR. For those of you who are wondering where the latest and greatest version of this camera stands, the Canon Rebel T8i was unveiled last month and brings the Rebel series features such as 4K recording. But if you don't see yourself needing 4K recording for purposes right now, then my original statement still stands. The Canon Rebel T3i is not only one of the best cameras I have ever owned, but was in fact the best first DSLR camera I could have owned. It helped pave the way for me to learn basic and advanced techniques while working with photography and video production. It shaped Dragon Rider Network into the channel that it is today, and it allowed me to make the jump to more advanced cameras like the Panasonic GH5 when it became clear videos I had been shooting for the channel needed an upgrade. But the Canon Rebel T3i still has a special place in my heart, especially when looking back at the many years of projects I was able to accomplish with it.